Hey guys, this will be a quick little video. I had several questions about some of the later challenges on histogram, so I thought I'd put those out. Basically, I'm going to skip everything before number 7 just because they're usually one line, so there's not really a lot going on. A lot of times there's specific examples directly out of the presentation, so I'll leave you to work on those. But we are going to work. I am going to show you 9 through 13. So we'll do each one of those real fast and go from there. So 9, write a loop that will iterate through the elements of nums and print each value. So it's how to print right now when at the moment we don't know any other way. As you can see right here, I've got my basic skeleton set up. Obviously, I don't have the challenges 1 through 8, sorry. But one thing I do have is I do have my starter code. So this is the array I gave you that I want you to use. So that's what we're going to print. So I basically want to recreate this. I don't have to worry about the brackets. I don't have to worry about the commas. I'm just listing everything out. So I make the for loop. I call it the for loop because it's the same one we're going to create several times over. The name of our array is nums length I plus plus. Reminder why we use length, because length is dynamic. It is a property. It's created as soon as we create any array. So if we ever come back and change this and, delete half of those, this automatically updates. I don't have to go back and change that every time I use it. If I make it longer, the same situation. That's why we use length. We're just printing this case. So I print, take off the ln, and I grab each index value by itself, okay, one at a time. I cannot grab the whole array at a time. Then I grab a space, and then when I reach the end, I use a spacer line just to make sure that I am good, okay? So there's number 9. And as you can see, that's what we want. All right. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put another spacer so that these answers are separated a little bit. Number 10, print true if there is a 6 in the first or last index of the nums. False if not. Okay. We look at our numbers. There's not a 6 here, but there is one here. So we are expecting true. But now I've got to write the code for it. Okay. Again, I will need the for loop, but I'm going to grab a Boolean. I'll set it equal to false by default. It's always easier to disprove something, so this is the natural state. The odds are very likely that there's not one. So, in fact, since I'm going to use the exact same loop, I will copy the exact same loop. Okay. Oh, actually, I don't need a loop for this. My bad. I got ahead of myself. So I'm just checking 2 specific locations. So if nums bracket 0 is 6, there's the first one, or nums bracket nums dot length minus 1 equals 6. True, else false. Okay, since I'm only interested in those 2 positions, this will work just fine. I've got my OR statement, so if either one of these is true, it triggers. Otherwise, it spits out a false, which means I don't actually need that. This right here. So we know length is auto-generated because it's a property, and we know that the array indexes are 1 less than our length, so that gives me automatically my last value, nums.length minus 1. We know there is a 6 here, so we should see a true. There you go. Okay. Grab my spacer. Okay. Number 11. Write a for loop that will print one time above 10 if any elements in nums is above 10. Print at or below 10 if not. To do this, or come up with your own methodology, create a Boolean variable called above 10, initially false. Write a statement that will change to above 10. Do this to avoid printing multiple 10s. Okay, so again, we want to print one time. We don't want to print for each value. So above 10, we'll use their phrasing and set it to false. Okay. Now this is where what I was doing the first time. I misunderstood number 10 for a second. Okay. So that's going to go through my entire loop one at a time. Now inside the loop, this is where I write my if test. So if nums bracket I at any point is above 10. First thing I want to do is I want to change above 10 to true. And then because I've already found something that counters my expectation, I just stop. Because remember, I only want to print one time. So if anything is above 10, then that's what's going on. After my loop, this is where my print statements are behind an if test. So if above 10, and since it's a Boolean value, I don't have to put equals to true. They just read the Boolean term inside the variable. Then I print above 10. And else at or below 10. There's my spacer. Okay. Again, we go look at our values. We've got 16, we've got 12, so we should see an above 10. We do. So we're good there. Now we're at 12. Write a loop that will print once if they found 6, if nums contains the value 6. Okay. Very similar to what we did right here. So I'll just convert that code. Something like that. Set this equal to 6. And again, if we go look at our value, we knew we had a 6 at least here. So we should definitely see a has 6 at the bottom now. Has 6, okay. This setup is very standard. You're going to use this a lot of times if you're just wanting to do a simple Boolean test. You declare a value, you use the for loop to look at each box, and inside you give it some kind of qualification. Either it is a value, it's greater than, it's less than, you're testing. And then your print statements are never in, well, I won't say never, are almost never inside your loop. They are usually separate after you read your Boolean value. Okay, same thing we did here. And so our last one, number 13, write a loop that will print once within 2 to 8 if all the values in nums are within the range of 2 to 8. If not, print not within. Okay, again, we've got the same setup. We're testing something within 2. I just say within. Okay, so this time though, we're going to presume it's true. Okay, it'll be an easier if test to write. I use my same for loop, no changes there. And so what I want to look for is I want to see if there's anything outside that range, because remember, disproving. So if nums bracket I is less than 2, or nums bracket I is greater than 8. If any of that happens, then I jump it to be false. Okay. If it's still in between, then it is within 2 and 8, not within 2 and 8. Okay. We know already that we've got too big of numbers. We got 16, we got 12, we got 9, we got 0. So this should definitely not display it. There you go, not within 2 and 8. Those are the 5 challenges at the end. Hope this helps. Have a good day.